Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Austin. This is Gone in 60 Detailing. This is my 2023 Volkswagen Golf R, and in today's video, I'm going to be trying some of the titans of the industry. I am looking for the best pre-rinse solution before washing. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me share with you exactly what we are working with. So I have a couple products today that if you're using a pre-rinse, obviously, wintertime is a great time. There's a lot of reasons to use it. We're using Stjarnagloss. I'm probably butchering it. Forst, Stjarnagloss Forst. It's a citrus degreaser, kind of pre-cleaner. And man, this stuff is pretty solid. It already comes pre-mixed, so definitely value there goes to that. And then what we're actually spraying onto the car right now, so I'm going to do the right-hand side of the car. We are using Surfex HD by Bilt Hamber. Now, I will say with Bilt Hamber, you know, this is a product that's not here from the US. They go by panel impact ratio. You basically need to have an algebra degree to be able to figure it out, but basically it's a way of figuring out how many parts product versus how much water. It's very complicated. However, in this video, for testing purposes, the Stjarnagloss is ran straight because that's how it came, and then the Surfex HD is a strong ratio as well. It's 1 part product to 5 parts water. So honestly, from what I've heard and what I've seen, that's in a very aggressive ratio on utilizing it. So in my opinion, I might be going a little bit too hard and a little bit too aggressive with it, but let's go ahead and see how this turns out. So I like using a pre-rinse before I go to just the automatic car wash. Now we're jumping over to the Stjarnagloss side. The Surfex HD, it is a sugar-based product. It's a lot better for the environment, supposedly, but there's been some products or some channels, therefore, on YouTube that have just done phenomenal. And I sped all this up for you guys, so you don't have to watch three minutes of me spraying it onto the car. But overall, you can use a pre-rinse for a lot of applications. I like doing a rinseless wash on my cars, and so I wanted to do this pre-rinse before I took it to the automatic car wash and before I actually went in and did my rinseless wash. So when my car's super dirty like this, I like to pre-treat it, then I like to spray it off my automatic car wash, and then I like to do a rinseless wash. Now, if the car's not bad, I'm always doing a rinseless, but where it's winter here in Utah, it just gets really, really nasty, and so that's what I'm working with. So here, I'm going really fast because you don't want to let any of these dry onto the car. I was just waiting to be able to pull into the bay. So let's go ahead, let me pull this into the bay, and then we will let the products I think I let them each dwell for a couple minutes, and then we'll spray it off, and we'll see if there's a side that does better than the other. All right, so pulling them into the bay here, I let the products sit. I let them dwell the best that I could, just so we're just equal on each side. But definitely the car, I've had it dirtier in wintertime, but I know it doesn't do justice on camera, but just kind of a good idea of kind of how the products are doing. So just a reminder, Stjarnagloss is on the driver's side, and the Bilt Hamber is on the passenger side. So we're going to start with the passenger side because that's what I immediately did. And already as I was starting to spray this off, I could tell it was doing a good job. But sometimes it can be pretty deceiving, and we'll see the results at the end of the video. But essentially, just wanted to see which degreaser can do better. Obviously, for the money, Surfex HD is hard to beat. It's very dilutable. I have it in a much stronger ratio or panel impact ratio than what's recommended. Typically on something like this, I should have done maybe 1 part product to like 10 parts water. Yeah, or even higher actually. But yeah, I did it aggressive, but here it's doing a good job. Places I notice, and especially, for anybody with any car, it's no different. You can see I have some beating up towards the top, but it's the lower half of the vehicle, and that's honestly the place that gets the dirtiest, and that's where a lot of road and grime, and you can see it just kind of the white popping back into the paint after going over it. So far when I was using it, I enjoyed it, but it is worth noting, I think for the jug, it's about 50 or 60 bucks. You're gonna have a hard time kind of finding it. There's several sites out there where you can get a lot of these from. I think I got this from the Clean Garage. It is worth noting that I want to try their touchless. They actually have a touchless pre-rinse, so it's worth talking about. The Surfex HD is more of an all-purpose cleaner. It is, and you can use all-purpose cleaners as pre-rinse kind of treatment as well. But essentially that's what we're doing with the Surfex HD. So they do have touchless that I want to give it a go. I want to give it a try. I want to see how well it does. So obviously, guys, this is, you know, nothing perfect of a test. There's a lot of, you know, areas for error, like how close am I to the panel each time? How many times do I go over each side? It's never going to be 100% perfect, but what I'm hoping to show is if there is truly one side that does better than the other. So with that, let's go over to the Stjarnagloss side. I tried to balance out the timing the best that I could. You can see it pulling a lot off of there. So, you know, this first cycle is soap. Then I'm going to rinse it off. So a lot of these car washes, I don't know, the soap's kind of junk. I don't know if it really even does anything. A lot of people say they're really high in alkaline, but overall, just kind of spraying it down with soap, and then I'm going to go back over and rinse it. But immediately when I was spraying it off, I really didn't notice a difference between the two. As I'm over here on the Stjarnagloss side, I really didn't notice anything that was in particular like a whole lot different or better or anything. Didn't really notice anything. You know, the white paint is coming back. It's, you know, it's doing its job. It's no different than a lot of the other products that I've used. So what I've done in the past is I've done pre-rinse. Is I normally like to do a pre-rinse, and then I actually do just like some Koch Chemie gentle snow foam. And you can see here, this is a good indication of just how much it's cutting through stuff, which it's doing a good job. But I only do that. I only do a pre-rinse in the Koch Chemie when it's like nasty. Now I live in Utah. You know, this is my daily driver. It gets road, it gets salt, it gets a whole bunch of stuff, and I just don't want to jump into breaking out my pressure washer, or I also don't want to do a rinseless wash, even though a lot of people say that you can. I still like to be cautious with that. So, but overall, guys, you know, that's kind of some of the things that I've done in terms of my winter wash. You can check out that video. But as I went over the Stjarnagloss side, I really didn't notice a difference. It's really hard to tell with the lighting and everything. So what I'll go ahead and do, you've already kind of seen me spray both sides. I actually end up rinsing this off, but let's go ahead and just cut right over to the finished results after I sprayed off the car, and I examine each panel to see, hey, what were the cleaning properties like? Because at the end of the day, we can talk about value, we can talk about all sorts of stuff, but I wanted to see how well each product cleans. So let's go ahead and jump to that portion of the video, and then I have a final portion after I drove it home and the car sat for a little bit to be able to see kind of what the dirt looked like on there, how clean the car was. All right, let's do a quick check since we're just barely out of washing the car, and I'll go home and do a rinseless. But I don't see a whole lot really of dirt. I see a little bit down there kind of deposited. Go ahead and look around kind of back here, kind of lower parts, make sure my hand's clean. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clean. It's really hard to tell, but I'm not seeing a ton of dirt, maybe just a teeny bit down there along the bottom. Here on the back, and this is the Stjarnagloss side, guys. I apologize, I forgot to mention that. Not seeing really anything. Do see some kind of below the headlight here, just a little bit of dirt. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let's go over to the Surfex HD side. Down below here, yeah, I am seeing some on the Stjarnagloss too on this side. Kind of lower, you can kind of see it leaving some dirt trails. Probably say I'd see maybe about the same, maybe a touch more on the Surfex HD side. I see some right here, see some right here. I don't know. For sure seeing a little bit more on the Surfex HD. It's pretty good. Yeah, not seeing dirt. It's looking pretty good too. Very similar. Let's look down here. Yeah, just a little bit, a teeny bit of dirt, not much. But like right there, I don't like that. That's kind of smearing. That's kind of smearing. man, I don't know. I mean, my impression is I don't think the Surfex HD cleaned as good, but it could also be how I diluted it, and we'll talk about that in the video. And don't pay attention to this right here. I had accidentally kind of touched a little bit on the ground, so that's not Stjarnagloss side. But honestly, I mean, if I had to pick a winner based on what I'm seeing, I'd say Stjarnagloss cleaned better. Now, there's a lot of variables. I could have missed some spots where I sprayed. That's always a possibility because this is not 100% perfect, but definitely saw, you know, a lot more spots where the Surfex HD was not cleaning it, especially kind of here along that panel where there's dirt. So I don't know if I had to pick a winner. And this is the Surfex HD. Over there, that's Stjarnagloss. I'd have to say Stjarnagloss did better. And it might be my mixture, it might be my ratio, so don't just think Surfex HD is bad, but their mixtures are for sure different. But I don't know. I'll leave kind of how I mixed it below, but at the end of the day, I think the Stjarnagloss actually cleans better, or I'll have to up my strength on the Surfex HD. Stjarnagloss side, I don't know how well you can see it. Really not a lot of kind of like residual down the panel. Surfex HD, I don't know how well it'll show up on here. But there are some kind of streaking of just dirt and some of that. You know, obviously here, it's really hard to tell on camera. I'm trying to tell where I can get this for you guys. Maybe this way. I mean, there's still just kind of some dirt on it, and where I rubbed my fingers along down here on the Surfex HD side, it's left streaking. Really hard to tell, but on camera, but just standing over it, I mean, it's pretty clear one side cleaned better than the other. And on the Stjarnagloss side, I don't see where I rubbed my finger on the paint. And on the back, and it's kicked up more dirt and other stuff, but just cleanliness of this side, which is Surfex HD, to this side, which is the Stjarnagloss. Pretty comparable, pretty different in person for sure.